Hey folks, how y'all doing today? Hope you are having a good weekend, or had a good weekend, depending on when you're watching this. I appreciate the very kind words on the last video, and once again, thanks for being patient. I would also like to apologize for the mess behind me. I'm moving by the end of next month, so it's gonna get a little messy in here as I try to pack up, but on the upside, I did find a couple cool things. I have my Japanese stasis, very cool. I have my sealed pack of Wyvern, very cool. I played this in like 2018. This game's really cool and the art's really awesome. I have a starter deck of it somewhere. I played with a bunch of my friends and I don't know where I put it. And here is my deepest, darkest secret. These are my alpha rats. They're my beta rats and Zira Aaron. There's a bunch of foil ravenous rats. Yeah, basically this whole binder is just full of rats. I picked all that up in like 2018 when I was just like, yeah, you know what? I really just want to start like collecting things randomly. And I did the unthinkable. I ordered more launcher spiders. I had to do it. Anyway, that's enough show and tell. I'd be here all day. So let us get into some comments. Okay, first things is first. I completely dropped the ball on Spear Cretin. Like, so many people are like, hey, you know you could just loop them, all right? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. That's really good, and especially like in a sealed environment too, like that would just be nuts to fight. Yeah, definitely gonna give some respect to Spear Cretin there. Another one I saw a couple times was the Hercules, that beetle. Apparently was like a $400 card at some point because it was used in one of the more modern decks. That's so Yu-Gi-Oh! That's like the most Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing in the world. Like, oh, this unplayable fusion, it just, 20 years later, it's just $400. Because it was only in Tournament Pack 1 at the time. Yeah, another one was Mechanical Chaser. That one was not meta because of availability and price, and not just because of its power level, because it is objectively better than the other normal summons. It almost seems unheard of today, because I think if something like that were to happen, people would be shelling out money for anything to get just a little advantage, at least in the West, for sure. Also, releasing a promo card that is more powerful objectively than the others is also kind of a relic of the past, I want to say, but then Nexus of Fate came out, so, who really knows anymore? Also, for the small funny point here, Konami completely shat all over Wizards with their anniversary product, and to that I say thank you. Someone has to put that company in their place after what they did. There is just absolute, and now the D&D thing too, like it just it blows my mind, the incompetence. Konami, just buy them out. Just buy them out. Listen, Konami, I don't think you're perfect either. I'm sure there's things you do wrong, but my lord, it cannot be this bad. It cannot be this bad. Oh, I'm also glad Weather Reports, its existence has to make sure every other card is worded a specific way. That's very funny. I enjoy that. Yeah, so just like this time, it's going to be like a little bit scuffed because this was recorded like, I don't know, like a month and a half ago at this point, or maybe 2 months. The end of Thanksgiving? Was that 2 months ago? How is it the 21st of January already? Oh God. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a little scuffed. But like I said, I can't re-record my first impression. I want to give my initial thoughts right when I see a card. Yeah, bear with me. After this, we're in current day. We'll be here. I did want to note a couple things as I was just passing through it and re-editing it. So I gave, and someone even mentioned this in the comments, they were like, hey, you shouldn't give all of those tutor cards the same grade, which I kind of did, except for Mystic Tomato. I gave Mystic Tomato a B+, and as I was watching it, I was disagreeing with myself. I'm like, just give it the A. Just give it the A. It's insane. So I'm gonna errata myself at the start of this video and say Mystic Tomato probably is just an A. The other ones I think still do have potential to be very strong. I mean, the text on them is still really good. They just kind of have to be like they're in limbo until actually something good comes out for them. So and I think I might have undergraded the light one a little bit. I think I gave it like a B- like the other ones, but there's more like light creatures that are playable or that are good in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, oh yeah, another commenter said you could giant rat into Labyrinth Wall, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. And then when I was editing the video, I'm like, oh wow, Oh, wait, I actually mentioned it in the video. I was like, oh, I caught it. I caught the little interaction there. So I'm gonna send you all to past me to finish up Magic Ruler rares and short prints. Luminous Spark. All light monsters gain 500 and lose 400. So I checked the dark version of this one, and the wording is like different on it, or maybe that's the Oracle text. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one in the same camp as the Dark Heal spell version of this. You know, I mean, it's basically the same thing. If lights are represented just as much as, you know, dark monsters would be, pretty much put it at the same grade. I kind of want to give it, you know, like a sealed grade of like C or B, but a constructed grade of probably not playable, or like not unplayable, but there's just better things happening in the format at the time. Yeah, that's what we'll put that one. Rising Air Current. This is the one for wind monsters. Damn, do I give it like the same kind of sealed grade of like BC, or just because they're wind, does it get a peg down? Kind of like C, D. So, you know, if there are good enough wind monsters, I'll put C on this one. I'll put C on this one as like kind of like a sealed card. But again, in constructed, there's probably better things to be doing than giving your wind monsters 500 attack. And you're probably not playing wind monsters anyway in constructed. So, okay, here's the fire. And people have mentioned fire sucks. So Molten Destruction, you're going to get a D. Umiruka? Umiruka, the one for waters. I'll give you the same grade as the winds. We'll do C for you. Gaia Power? Wasn't there something else named Gaia? All earth monsters gain 500 attack. I'll put you in the same camp. We'll do C. Actually, I guess for sealed or like a draft, if you were to draft this format, I would actually have to go back and denote which monsters were which, because in draft it would just determine what's in this pack. You know what I mean? Jigen Bakuden. All right, flip. After this card is flipped, attribute it during your standby phase to destroy all monsters you control and inflict damage equal to half the total attack of the destroyed cards to your opponent. Okay, so it's a ticking time bomb here. How does this play out? So it's not like a flip effect that happens regardless during the standby phase. This thing has to be tributed to have the effect go off. So that makes it very, very bad, because this is not surviving combat, right? And even if it isn't like flipped or triggered on that turn, you flip it up, but your opponent still has a way to deal with it. Also, you're destroying all of your monsters for burn. So this literally has to end the game, or you probably lose the game. I don't like how this is gonna play out. This is like a lot of setup, and a lot of things have to go right for you to win the game with this card. So I'm going to give this an F. Tailor of the Fickle. Ooh, I love that name. Switch one equip card equipped to a monster to another correct target. That's one way to say legal, I guess. Correct. All right, so you have a quick play spell, a little combat trick. I mean, it steals their equipment, right? Is that how that works? Or is this only switching your own equipment? I mean, if you could steal their equipment, it's fine. But also, why are you playing equipment? I think the only good one I saw was the one I reviewed a couple days ago, like in this set. The generic 700 one, but I don't even know if that was like played. So that's what makes this card probably a like sideboard C, where if there is a meta where there's a ton of equipment running around, obviously this is really good. Yeah, I'll do sideboard C for Tailor of the Fickle. Pretty cool. Fairy's Hand Mirror. When your opponent activates a spell card that targets exactly one monster and no other cards, target another card that would be an appropriate target. That spell now targets the new target. Okay, so we went from correct to appropriate. I wonder how many other adjectives we're gonna use. Synonyms, whatever you call it. Yeah, so it redirects a spell? What are you even redirecting? People were talking about the card where you discard a card to destroy a target creature. They said that was pretty good. I should have actually mentioned that before. Yeah, like I definitely undergraded that one. I gave it like an F. And it was like probably still like a C. So this definitely would hit that. It hits Change a Heart, actually. That's pretty disgusting. Though I guess you couldn't really do much with it if it's their turn and you change a heart their monster. Kind of just like maybe holds off an attack for a turn. This is fine. It's probably a little too niche, though the more spell cards that come out that target, this keeps going up in value. So I want to give this a sideboard C. I think maybe in this current format, it's closer to a D than a C, but I think down the line in the sideboard, this could see some play. Curse of the Fiend. Change the battle positions of all attack position monsters on the field to defense position and vice versa. These positions cannot be changed during the turn this card is activated, except by the effect of a spell, trap, or monster effect. And you can only activate this card during your standby phase. Interesting. That last line of text is very weird because this isn't a quick play. So, like, if I was on Master Duel, and this card was in my hand, it would have just, like, prompt me. It's like, oh, you can play your Curse of the Fiend now. So, this reminds me of that attack defense card. What was it called? Sword and Shield? Shield and Sword? Something. But it's way more restrictive, kind of. Oh, no, that one switched their actual numerical values. This is switching their positions. How much worse is that? I'm starting to think the standby phase doesn't matter that much. Oh, no, wait. The standby phase kind of does matter because you can't position your monsters to be in the position you want them, right? You almost have to set up your board past the turn and then get this off in order to, like, really blow your opponent out. Oh, wait. Does this work with the clowns? Is that how the clown deck operates? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Shit. Because at first I was thinking, oh, flip monsters, but no, they're not, like, flipping. But I remember the clowns are just, like, change their positions over and over. That's how you get their effect. Oh, but they have to survive combat. I don't know. I'm spending a lot of time on this one. I'm gonna go with my, like, what I assume best case scenario is, where you, like, run over a big tribute with a normal summon, and that makes this card fine. Just fine. I'm gonna go D+. D+ on Curse of Fiend. I might be undershooting it a little bit. There might be something abusable with this card, but we're gonna go D+ on it for now. Gravekeeper's Servant. A continuous spell. Your opponent must send one card from the top of their deck to the graveyard to declare an attack. Yo, I love me some mill. I love me some mill. This is just not really playable though, right? I mean, I haven't seen basically any mill cards, but you know, this is one of them where when there's enough mill support, this would probably be pretty good. The fact that your opponent gets full control over, you know, how much they're milling kind of makes it a little bad, but in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have to declare attacks in order to end the game, you know, it's going to be happening at some point anyway. So, for now, we're going to give this an F. It definitely has potential later down the line as more support comes in for the... Okay, here we have the Super Short Prince. Oh boy. Eternal Rest. Destroy all monsters equipped with equip cards. Damn. So, okay, hold on a second. Not only do you just get blown out by the normal removal for playing equip cards, Konami said, hey, we really want to make sure equipment is not good. That's too funny. What can you do to grade something like this? First of all, the art's cool. Second of all, I mean, you shouldn't be playing with equip cards anyway. But if there is a meta with a ton of equip cards, I mean, this just blows them all out. It's going to be a sideboard C. Darkness Approaches. Discard 2 cards from your hand. This better be good. Select one face-up monster and change it to face-down defense position. Okay. So now I understand why you all said that discard a card, destroy a monster was good. Because this, really? Is this a way to reflip your flip monsters? Is that what it's going for? But you have to 3-for-1 yourself to do this? No, we're gonna do F on this. Please prove me wrong on this one, but nah, this gotta be an F. There's no way. There's just no way. Continuous spell. Each player must pay 500 life points to declare an attack. Okay, so this is different from the mill one. This one ends the game much sooner. Burn spells are getting really good, no? I don't know, just looking at what burn cards have shown up, I'm starting to think burn was like a decent strategy. I mean, maybe this is early Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're not declaring a lot of attacks, you're just putting a lot of things in defense position. You know, there might be a chance that Hole isn't as good at the moment. You know, again, your opponent still has control over when they do this, but aside from Exodia, they have to attack to end the game. This is gonna hit them for 500 at least a couple times. They could play around it and wait for tributes or wait for their own tributes to get the max amount of damage in so they can minimize the toll payments. You know, it's going to get them one way or another. They either have to spend a spell to remove this spell or just die. Yeah, you know what? Toll gets a B from me. I don't think it was like meta defining. You know, Burn's not usually always the best deck in any format, but This looks really, really, really strong. No way. I think I have this one too. Slot machine? There she is. There she is. Heavily played slot machine. Honestly, this shit's just damaged. I like ate it as a kid. What the hell? So cool seeing these old cards. You know, like I see so many cool old ones like that I have never seen before. And then like sometimes I get like a rush of like 2003 as a child, like memories. Like slot machine, like the most absolutely unplayable. I mean, this thing's the most unplayable card probably in the set. 7-star? I'm sorry, slot machine. Oh, he's just got question marks. He doesn't even know what he's rolling for. There it is again. Yeah, I mean, what can he even say? He's smiling. Spot of Greed. Is this like the single strongest spell in all card games? It really gets you thinking, you know, like Ancestral Recall is pay a blue, draw 3. In a game with no resources other than once per turns and cards, how is an inherent +1 for nothing just not the best card ever printed? Is that why it can never come off the ban list? Because it would just be played in every deck, right? But also it's like so core in the Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know, headspace, meme space, just like part of the game's legacy at this point. You can't really say that about Ancestral Recall in Magic. I don't even know what Magic's like famous card even is. Jace, like the Planeswalkers, but like that's kind of like newer in relation to, you know, where Magic is. Nothing has anything ever topped Pot of Greed. Is Pot of Greed just like the goat of card games? There's like a meta discussion to be had about just this card. The thing has 3 words on it. It is a 3-word card, and the description is 3 words, and it just like holds a legacy that you could write a book about. Pot of Greed gets memed on a lot. What does it do? You have to put some respect on its name. Most well-known card, most powerful card. Oh yeah, that was the first rare of this set. An Evil Tomato, Mystic Tomato. When this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 dark monster, 1500 or less attack from your deck. Okay, so 1500 attack or less restricts this a little bit. So what are you usually getting off Mystic Tomato here? You're getting Wall of Illusion, but that's attack position, so probably not the best. You will be getting, oh, Sengen, right? Is Sengen 1500? Oh, and wait, Sengen, Witch of the Black Forest, right? Yeah. Okay, so he gets both Sengen and Witch of the Black Forest, and he puts them right on the field too. Doesn't even take up your normal summon. Or I guess if it was like your opponent's turn, you could just summon it on their turn. And then what are they gonna do? Remove the Sengen or the Witch and then give you a card back, you know? Wow, wait, that makes this pretty good. I mean, by battle is like a little more restrictive than the other ones, because I think Sengen and Witch are just like, oh, if it just finds its way to the graveyard, if it just moseys on over, you know, go find a card that you want. This one with that clause of battle still makes it good though. A special summon is a lot better than putting into your hand sometimes. I don't see a lot of cast effects, if that makes sense. Like, I don't see a lot of when this card enters the battlefield effects. A lot of the things I've seen are just like when it goes to the graveyard or when it dies, or so having it special summoned is just inherently a good thing. You know, sometimes in Magic you can like collected company for something, but it doesn't do anything when it ETBs because it's a cast trigger. I'm gonna give Mystic Tomato a B+. I think this card is really, really sick. I don't know if it's like meta defining. It's just so solid overall. But then again, I guess if this is just more copies of Sengen and Witch, and those are meta defining, like, isn't this just kind of an A as well? I'm gonna stick with like a B+. You guys let me know. Like, was Mystic Tomato just played in everything, or like was Sengen and Witch just played in everything, so you just played Tomato anyway? Or was this just kind of like filler as you put like more powerful cards into your deck? You don't really need a bunch of like, you don't need tutors searching your tutors, searching your tutors. At that point, you just kind of want things that do stuff. And this stat-wise isn't the most amazing. Yeah, we'll do B+ for Mystic Tomato. I think this looks pretty good. All right, here we have Flying Kamari number 1. Okay, so it's a cycle, and this one is special summoning a wind monster. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason to not give this one a good grade too. Special summon a wind monster. I don't know, what's the best wind monster you're summoning with this? Okay, so I just scrolled through the ones I already reviewed, and the best one was like an understated vanilla. Okay, so like maybe in context, of this set, it's not that good. However, grabbing any wind monster, you know what I mean? If there's more effect wind monsters that come out later in the future that are worth playing, and like typically the effect monsters that do really good stuff tend to be lower on the attack scale, because everything I've seen that's like 1800 or above either has a drawback or is just a vanilla. I'll give Flying Kamari a B. Not a B plus. I'm gonna give Flying Kamari a B minus. Power level is still the same. It's still there. I just don't see anything quite yet. But it's very easy to make a wind monster with a kind of a small amount of attack that can really abuse Flying Kamari #1, I think. So okay, here we got a Mother Grizzly. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a water monster from your deck. I don't know what you're really summoning off of this. So I'm going to give this the same grade as the other one. I'm going to go B minus for Mother Grizzly. Okay, here's the light version of this one, Shining Angel. Going to do B minus. Yeah, B minus for Shining Angel. I'm going to keep the cycle pretty consistent here. Nimble Momonga. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a flying squirrel. But it looks so weird. Wait, what is going on? Anyway, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points. And then you can special summon any number of Nimble Momongas from your deck. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, I love this card so much. I love, like, I've seen this kind of design of some of the same card type from your deck. I think I don't know where I've seen this. Was it in Magic or was it in Hearthstone? I don't fully remember, but I just love the gameplay of it, you know? You can even crash this in yourself if you need to, because it doesn't have to be destroyed by, battle on your opponent's turn or anything. So if you set this, grab 2 dudes, now you have a bunch of tribute fodder. But of course, we're all card game players here, right? So what's going to happen is you're gonna open with 2 of these. You gotta think about the odds and think about what power you can get from this card. And what I'm seeing here is incidental life gain on an already good effect. I'm down for this. I'm gonna go C plus on Nimble Momonga. This kind of card is so cool. It's powerful, does everything you want, even pads your life total. Giant Germ. And this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Then special summon Giant Germs from your deck. Damn, do you want the 1k life? Or do you want to slap them for 500? End of the day, if you want to just sit behind the germs, they're taking 1500. So if you're in the burn deck, might be a nice cozy way to wall up, that's for sure. Face up attack position means they might be able to, kind of hit you, at least on the first turn or the first crack. But pretty cool. Yeah, B minus Karate Man. You can double the attack of this card once per turn. If you use this effect, destroy this card during the end phase. Oh, that's sad. I was hoping Karate Man started at like 100 attack and then you could double it every turn, so it just got out of hand. If you played Karate Man Control, make this guy a freaking 12,600 whatever, you get 2k beater for 1 turn. I can get a 2k beater for a lot of turns. So Karate Man, I don't want to give him like an F. I'll give him like a D minus. I think he's still fine for a turn, but yeah, there's just way better options out there, I think. UFO Turtle. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 fire monster. Okay, so again, I've heard fire just sucks right now and probably forever. Even though this is still the same effect, we'll do a C plus. C plus for UFO Turtle till there's more fire monsters. He's gonna have to hide in his little UFO cabin. Senju of the 1,000 Hands. Cool art. When this card is normal or flip summoned, add 1 ritual monster. Okay, so this finds the ritual monster and the Sonic Bird finds the spell. So they've created a small ritual support package just in this first set. The ritual summon cards are not playable. In fact, the support cards to get them out look so much better than the actual payoffs. Like, when there is a good ritual card, this card becomes good. Do I really want to search Hungry Burger? Not really. I really kind of don't. I mean, it's funny. This gets like a D current format. This gets like a C plus B minus for longevity, like down the road. Getting a good ritual card at the end of the day is probably going to be good eventually. So do I grade it now? Do I grade it within this current context? No. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Better ritual cards will come out. This will get a C plus. Here is a Giant Rat. When this card is destroyed by battle, special summon an earth. Okay, so there we go. So this could actually get Labyrinth Wall. Imagine your opponent only has like one monster, and this is in face down defense position, and they crash it in. You get your Labyrinth Wall, and on your turn, you just flip that bad boy into defense. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it the same grade. I think the Labyrinth Wall thing's kind of cool, kind of cheesy. No pun intended. No pun intended. We'll give this one another B- though. Cyberjar. Okay, I did see, I think it was, damn, was it like a month or two ago at this point? Cyberjar came off the ban list. Let's see why it was banned. Flip. Destroy all monsters on the field. Then both players reveal the top 5 cards from their decks. Then special summon all level 4 or lower monsters in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. Add any remaining cards to their hand. If either player has less than 5 cards in their deck, reveal as many as possible. So the cards you don't reveal go to your hand. Okay, this being a flip Raigeki, no, a flip Dark Hole is already, like, it's already too good. You then either special summon X amount of cards or draw X, right? So if you special summon 1, you then draw 4 cards. This just seems like a shit show. Like the game is progressing and progressing and progressing, and then someone sets a card and it flips, and then boom, board's gone. We both make a new board, and now we all have like a fresh grip. Like, imagine losing to this shit. Oh, I'd be so upset. I'd be so upset. You know, in card games, you know, you'll get upset. You know, I tend to like not get angry. I just get sad. I just kind of like go like, oh man, darn. You know, some people would like, boom, like, fuck that, man, I almost won. Like, this probably caused so much anger. The fact that it's double-sided, like, doesn't even really matter when, like, the power level of the card is this big. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, you're down a card, but, like, assumedly, you've probably destroyed more of their board because they spent the whole turn setting it up anyway, you know? What a crazy card. What the hell? Yeah, I see why this was banned. What were they thinking with this one? This is some like Shahrazad shit. If you haven't read Shahrazad from Magic the Gathering, I'm sure you've heard of it. That's probably one of the more like, if you're like deep, I think people on this channel are like deep into the TCG sphere. You've probably heard of Shahrazad, which is you start a sub game of Magic the Gathering. This is starting a like kind of a sub game of Yu-Gi-Oh. I think this is just an A. I mean, it is. You want to talk about Maneater Bug being a paranoia, like, flip monster. I don't know what that might be. I would be shitting my pants if I saw a set monster on the field with this in the format. Hyozanaru. Did I review him already? But it's a really big vanilla. So it doesn't matter if I reviewed it or not. It's gonna get an F. Manga Ryu Ran. This card is always treated as a tune card. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 2 monsters while you control Toon World. Okay. Cannot attack at the turn of a special summoned. Oh, summoning sickness. You may pay 500 life points to declare an attack with this monster. Toon World is on the field is destroyed. Destroy this card. Can attack your opponents directly unless they control a Toon monster, in which case this card must target a Toon monster for its attacks. I don't know why in which case kind of just like made me laugh. Awkward wording on an official card is just kind of funny. Okay. Toon World. Oh, no. Toon World is the pay 1,000 just to activate it. Wow, where do you even put this thing? Special summoned from hand via tribute. But like there's so much setup involved, man. 2 monsters. You need to have Toon World out and has summoning sickness and isn't even that big. And you have to pay to attack. And then you may attack directly. And like your opponent's probably not playing 2 monsters, so kind of irrelevant there. I'm just gonna say this is probably unplayable. This is an F. I kind of just want to like have a bigger dude. It's the Horn of the Unicorn. The equipped monster gets 700 attack defense. Turn to the top of the deck. I don't like that. I don't like that piece of text. Why do they keep putting this on this card? Also, isn't the sword just instantly power crept to the next set? There's like not even like an upside to the sword now. Though you just play Horn of the Unicorn? Was the sword not field to the graveyard? It just entered the graveyard? Is that maybe the difference on this one? Well, I liked the other one where you had the choice to return it to the top, so you're not blanking your draw step. Still, it's 700 attack and defense is not like the worst, I guess, I suppose. Maybe this is like pretty good in sealed. But man, it's like you need a monster, and then this goes back to the top, and then your draw step skipped. It's like, how much does the defense even matter that much? Do I want the 700 defense upside over the I can't choose where it goes when my creature dies effect? Fine, I'll give it a cop-out D. It's probably just an F, but whatever, D. D for Horn of the Unicorn. Rush recklessly. Quick play spell, target one face-up monster on the field, gains 700 attack. Perfectly fine. In like limited, this is probably gonna end up being a 1-for-1. It's solid. It's not like insane. It's not like the most insane card. It's not gonna blow your opponent out. You know what I mean? This is like the textbook definition, in my opinion, of just a perfect C. It's the Mario of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Rush Recklessly. All right, here's freaking, what's his name from Monsters Inc? Heroes Shadow Scout. Flip, your opponent draws 3 cards. Do I even want to read the rest? Can I just give it an F? If there are any spell cards among them, discard them to the graveyard. I don't like you. I think your haircut is stupid too. Both players get to look at the cards. You know how you're gonna get blown out by the 3 cards you just drew. When the control of this face-up card shifts to your opponent, inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent's life points. Wow. Can only be used once as the card remains face up on the field. There is a burn strategy. Would you run a bunch of cards to try to do 2k damage? Probably not. You probably just want more ways to like wall up or like find more burn spells, get more removal. Do you have space for Amoeba and like the Amoeba package? It's a lot of life points though. Amoeba, I mean, the text on it is decent, but I don't think it's worth. I'm gonna go D on Amoeba. Here are the super rares. Monsters with 1500 or more attack cannot declare an attack. Once per turn during your standby phase, pay just 100 LP or destroy this card. Well, damn. It's kind of a permanent Swords of Revealing Light, right? Like, Messenger of Peace. This thing looks kind of nuts. So like you're put into a position where your like Sengens or Witches are the only things you can attack with. If you're using them to like search out your big guys, you can't attack with them. However, that means you cannot attack over their things unless you're doing that. Oh wait, this is support for the Mystic Lamp deck. What was that? There was like a cycle of things that attacked directly and they were like pitifully small. Is that how you made the burn deck back in the day? Did you do just desserts and stuff like that and then direct attackers with Messenger of Peace? Powerful card though. Like, I know I've gotten hosed enough in Modern with Ensnaring Bridge that things that say you can't attack are strong. They're just like really, really strong, depending on what you're going up against. Power level wise, this card is a B, B+, but depending on the meta, it might just be an A. Like if the whole game is 1500 or more attack creatures attacking, suddenly you put an end to that and you have like a ton of time to like find what you need. Exodia even? That's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, like power level B, but like sideboard / meta A. I'm just gonna give this an A. I'm just gonna give this an A. A for Messenger of Peace. Banisher of the Light. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, opposed to something like Soul Release that deals with things that are already there and your opponent might have already got the chance to interact with their own graveyard, because Soul Release is like a sorcery speed spell. This is just a continuous effect, always on the field. Find a way to get rid of this first. You know, as someone who's played a good amount of Modern and had to fight Dredge a good amount of times, I know the value of sideboard graveyard hate. This just seems like a very, very good piece of that. I'm gonna give this a sideboard B. If you're going against a graveyard strategy, throwing this in defense and flipping it up is just kind of gonna end their day until they find a way around it. So B for Banisher of Light. Here's Toon World. The text is, activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. It kind of comes down to how good the Toon deck is, but the first Toon card that I saw looked pretty bad. Like, just not worth playing. So Toon World, you get an F until further notice. Show me some good Toon cards, then we'll come back. Black Illusion Ritual. This card is used to ritual summon Relinquished. May also tribute a monster from your hand whose field is level 1 or more. Oh, you must also, not may. 1 or more is every monster. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, tribute any monster from your hand. I don't know what Relinquish does. So I can't really even grade this. Let me go find Relinquish real quick. Relinquish. Wow, that's a lot of text. You may ritual summon this card with Black Illusion Ritual. Once per turn, you may target one monster your opponent controls. Equip that to this card. Card in attack to defense becomes equal to that equipped monsters. This card will be destroyed by battle. Destroy that equipped monster instead. While equipped with that monster, any battle damage you take from battles involving this card inflicts equal effect damage to your opponent. Here's an actually good ritual card. Screw the other like common ones. Once per turn, so you could just keep doing this. You steal their guy, get all their stats, and then it's like, it's so hard to destroy, right? You need a removal spell to actually get rid of Relinquished, which I guess that's truly what it loses to, right? If you're trying to out-battle this thing, you're never going to win that fight. Wow, this card's cool. Really cool. Love the art too. What grade to give Relinquish? Let me go back to the ritual spell. So you're playing this, tributing a card in your hand, and then you also need the ritual card in your hand. So still a 3-card combo, but at least the payoff is like decent this time. Man, when you get it off, if they don't have removal, it kind of just takes over the entire game. The entire game becomes, can I beat Relinquished? No, I lose the game. Man, stealing their blue eyes, imagine. They have no way to get over it because you just stole their best dude. And suddenly now you're beating down with a Relinquish with those stats, and then next turn you do it again. If they have a monster, you do it again. I feel like if you get caught off guard and you're not ready to fight Relinquished, you're going to get completely blown out by it. Okay, so Black Illusion Ritual and Relinquished. Relinquished as a card, devoid of how you actually summon it, is an A, like an A+. Like, it's just probably the best monster I've seen. Yeah, Cyberjar might just be better, but I'll give the whole Relinquished strategy a C+. Maybe just a C+. C+ for Relinquish. I think the card is really cool. All right, here we got Painful Choice. Select 5 cards from your deck. Show them to your opponent. Your opponent selects 1 card among them. Add that card to your hand and discard the remaining cards to your graveyard. Kind of just gifts ungiven. Same like kind of concept that your opponent is always going to give you the worst choice, but you can manipulate the choices to just always be insanely good for you. So you go card neutral, like cards in hand wise, and then you get 4 cards into your graveyard. The worst of 5 cards, 4 into your graveyard. This seems also like a card that is probably not very good, but becomes a problem later down the line. You can do some dumb things with it, and you create scenarios where the game kind of ends after the card resolves. So you don't want it to be an FTK card. The difference between that being in Magic and in Yu-Gi-Oh is in Magic, it is I think it's 4 mana. It's 3 or 4 mana card. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you just play it. So maybe the world where the game ends on turn 4 in Magic might be fine in some formats. In Yu-Gi-Oh, when Painful Choice resolves and the game is over on turn 1/2, that might be a problem. Is that a problem at the moment for Painful Choice? I don't think so. I don't, there's no graveyard strategies I've seen so far. In fact, I think I've seen more anti-graveyard strategies or anti-graveyard tech cards than I have seen graveyard synergies so far. So that makes Painful Choice not that good. Now, it gets exponentially more disgusting as time goes on. Actually, is it banned? Okay. So I checked Painful Choice. It is banned everywhere. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Especially with the crazy shit you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays. Good lord. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, if Painful Choice was legal, I would have seen it on Master Duel at least once. Putting 4 cards in your graveyard. Like, I think an Eldritch player would just be nutting if they could put, like 1 trap in their hand and then 4 other traps into the graveyard. Because, you know what's actually funny? I believe Gifts Ungiven is 4 different cards. Like, I think you're fine, or it's 4 or 5 different cards that you put into your hand, and you let your opponent pick. This doesn't say different. This just select 5 cards. So I mean, if you want to load up your graveyard with freaking whatever you want, again, like how do you grade it? It's like right now it's not that good. You know, it's strong. Yeah, we'll call it an official for the books, for the records. Give it an A. Giant Trunade. Return all spell and trap cards from the field to the hand. Well, this is different from destroy all spell and trap cards. This just returns them. That's a little worse. Blow up all their stuff, like. If I return their rush recklessly to hand, or like what are you setting on the back row? Their mirror force? I still have to deal with that shit regardless. So, you know, I'd rather just kind of blow it up. I mean, so the thing is, I guess unless you really value multiple forms of like back row interaction to the point where, you know, you want to get in that last couple points of damage and you really just don't want to like think about what's on their back row, you just throw this in and it's a couple more copies of Heavy Storm. I guess alternatively too, if you set a bunch of trap cards yourself or spell cards, you can play this on your turn, and then you can set your cards first. So you get the first redeploy of your cards. You don't have to deal with their spell and trap cards while you're doing your attacks. Very dependent on the board state, whether if you want Heavy Storm, like if you're playing 0 back row in your deck and you're just playing back row removal, the Heavy Storm is better. If you are playing a good amount of back row yourself and you don't want to blow up your stuff, but you still want a couple turns of safe attacks, you'll play Giant Trunade in your deck. I think I'll do like a C+ for Giant Trunade. It'll be fine in some scenarios, but maybe I think the game might just be a little too slow to just kind of like really want that one turn. Yeah, let's do C+ for Giant Trunade. Still has some power to it. Confiscation. Pay 1,000 life points, look at your opponent's hand, select one card, and discard that card. It's every Magic player's dream. Oh my god. Thoughtseize. Quintessential Jund. Turn 1, swamp Thoughtseize. Like, how do you lose from that position? And in Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't have to play a certain color to get access to this effect. You just play it. It's just a spell card you put into your deck. Holy shit, that makes it, like, really good. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. This is an easy A. Probably the easiest A of this session. Cyberjar, I talked about it a lot. You know, there was a lot to discuss with how it played out. This is the easiest A. I don't have to think about it. Invader of the Throne. Flip. Select a 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field and switch control of it with this. This effect cannot be activated during the battle phase. Oh, you almost had me. You almost had me. So if this gets triggered during the battle phase, it just does nothing. The battle phase thing just kills it for me, though. Still a powerful effect, but you've thoroughly disappointed me, Invader of the Throne. You're getting a D. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Mahavalio. This card gains 500 attack for each equip card equipped to this card. That's how you know we're getting late. I'm like brain farting the card text. For each equip card equipped to this card. But damn, I mean, this thing gets to be a monster with just 1 equipment. Let's say you use the 700 attack one. This becomes a 2750 with just 1 equipment. That is like disastrously large. You're beating over Summon Skulls at this point. Are you still playing the equipment deck? Mahavalio, you're going to get a D, maybe like D+. Maybe the 700 attack equipment kind of makes this playable. Black Pendant. Equipped monster gains 500 attack. This card is sent from the field to the graveyard. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Okay, I mean, at least it's not blanking your draw step like the other one. In fact, it's kind of an upside when it leaves the battlefield. You ping them a little bit. In the burn deck, are you playing this? Might be fine. Do you care about attack in the burn deck, or are you walling up in the burn deck? Wait, put this on the direct attackers, right? I think the highest direct attacker was 400. Get in for 900. They hit your direct attacker. This sends to the graveyard for another 500. That doesn't sound that good. I'll give Black Pendant a... I mean, isn't the 700 one just better? Yeah, I'll give Black Pendant an F. It is time for the ultra rares. Here we have Toon Summon Skull. Must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing 1 monster while you control Toon World. cannot attack the turn of a special summoned. You must pay 500 LP to declare an attack. And if Toon World is destroyed, destroy this card. And it can attack directly. Okay, so it's Summon Skull for all intents and purposes with a bunch more conditions. I mean, that's all I can really say. Is just play normal Summon Skull. I don't feel like jumping through 90 different hoops for a card with the same amount of attack that can't even attack directly the turn it was summoned, so they still have a full turn to deal with it. I mean, if you get it off, 2,500 to the face is a lot, but like, unless it's exactly ending the game, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do all this extra stuff. Yeah, F for Toon Summon Skull. Toon Mermaid. Same Toon line of text, though at least this one is just a raw special summon, right? So if you have Toon World out, you could just play this card. Does that make it any better? A little, but it's still so small. It's just gonna get eaten up by like anything. Like your opponent normal summons anything that's not Sangan and you kind of blown out, you know? The summoning sickness is fine if you're playing exactly turn 1. Other than that, I'm not looking at these Toon cards. F for Toon Mermaid. Here we got Megamorph. While your LP is lower than your opponent's, the equipped monster's attack becomes double its original attack. But while your LP is higher, the equipped monster's attack becomes half the original attack. There's got to be a one-shot with this somewhere. I wonder if this is supposed to be paired with the Toon cards. Like you're supposed to lower your own LP or something with the declare attacks with the Toon monsters, so you get just below your opponent, doubles their attack, and then they can get one huge swing in. Summon Skull would be hitting for 5k direct attack. Is it a pipe dream? Is it like Timmy's playground combo? Yeah, probably. Double its original attack. I mean, powerful line of text. It just becomes a downside once you actually get damage through, though. So if you're not one-shotting your opponent with this, we're just gonna go F on Megamorph. I might be wrong on this one, but I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going. Mystical Space Typhoon. Target one spell trap on the field. Destroy that target. I remember this one. I've seen this one before. This thing is just the GOAT. I'm pretty sure. Like, this thing is just an A, right? It's just really good. It's a quick play spell. Blows up whatever spell trap is on the field. You can hit Swords of Revealing Light. You know, you don't have to worry about like a possible Mirror Force if they have something set. Kind of just deals with everything. You know, all the other spell trap removal has been fairly conditional up until this point. It's just a 1-for-1 every single time. This is almost like guaranteed to be in everybody's side, right? Like, it's not like a sideboard C or whatever. Like, sometimes you might put it in if the meta like, I feel like you probably just have 3 of these in your sideboard at all times, regardless of the meta. So yeah, A for Mystical Space Typhoon. Forceful Sentry. There's a lot of cards in this set. They really liked this angle. Look at your opponent's hand. Select a 1 card among them and return it to in the same set. I didn't read confiscation wrong, did I? No, I read it right. What the fuck? Why would you print 2 of these? Why would you print 2 hand disruption spells in the same set? Okay, so now there's 6 hand disruption spells you can play in your deck in the format, and you're probably just going to play all 6 until I can only assume this gets limited fast. You can't have 6 of these running around because this is not once per turn either. You're going to rip your opponent's hand apart to which they cannot play the game. If there's too many of these running around, if 6 out of 40 cards of your deck it ruins your opponent's game plan, not only is that not a fun format, but it's not healthy. That's not healthy. I think having some sort of hand disruption is fine. That's why I love Vendilion Click, that it's card quality out of your hand. They still draw a card, right? I take away your best card and you get to draw off the top of your deck. You're still card, you know, even, but this is just pretty insane. What the fuck? Wow, this is another A. What is going on? Some of these spells, man. This set has some insane cards going on in here. A for Forceful Sentry. Here we have Delinquent Duo. Pay 1,000 life points. Your opponent discards 1 random card. If they have any other cards in their hand, discard 1 more card of their choice. Hymn to Torok? Okay, this set is getting out of hand. This is a little too much. So now you have 9 overpowered hand disruption spells. Yeah, there's no way this shit must have lasted like 2 weeks before they emergency banned something. There's absolutely no way all of these cards stayed legal for longer than like 2 weeks. You get a random and they're worst. So they didn't want you to play the game anymore at this point in Yugioh. Wow, A for Delinquent Duo. Oh my goodness, this is getting spicy. This is getting real spicy. All right, here we have Snatch Steel. Equip only to a monster your opponent controls. Take control of the equipped monster. During each of their standby phase, they gain 1,000 life points. That's the drawback. That's the drawback we're going for. 1,000 life points. If this was deal 1,000 to yourself, put you on a clock, but then gaining 1,000 is such a non-cost. It's not even, it's not change of heart, right? You can kind of play around with this for a while. If their card was big enough, you know, and you don't want to tribute it off right away, you know, change of heart is restricted to 1 turn. This is just forever until they either blow up the Snatch Steel or blow up their card that they played. Damn, I'm just handing out the A's, but this is nasty. This is just disgusting. And that downside isn't even right away, right? It's during your opponent's standby. So you could just play this as more copies of Change of Heart if you wanted to, right? It's effectively just Change of Heart, but with upside, with more flexibility, more things you can do with it. Wait, if you steal your opponent's Sengen, do you get the search? I don't think you do, but if you do, GG, FF. All right, A for Snatch Steal. What the hell's going on? What is this set? Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is keeping me from looking at Spellbinding Circle. All right, Spellbinding Circle. Activate this card by targeting 1 monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack or change its battle position. All right, so I was told Paralyzing Potion, I got magicked on. I overgraded that one because in Yu-Gi-Oh! You still have to get over the monster. And pacifism would make it so they can't block. So basically the creature's out of the picture. But the creature is not out of the picture when you have a Paralyzing Potion on them. It just kind of holds them at bay. Spellbinding Circle is pretty much the same thing. Probably just an F in actual constructed. I've already just seen enough cards that are just like the power level just went whoop, like it just fucking shot up. So yeah, Spellbinding Circle, you're gonna have to do a little bit more than that. You're gonna get enough. Axe of Despair. Equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can tribute 1 monster, put it on top of your deck. This card is always choose an Archfiend card. 1,000 attack. I mean, damn. Yeah, this is just, again, like the best equipment. But like, is the best equipment still that good? Probably not. So, I mean, probably just to see then. All right, time for the secret rares. These better be insane. Serpent Knight Dragon. Cool looking Pokemon right there. Dragon crafted from the soul of a wicked knight. 7-star, 2350, 2400. Why is this a secret rare? Is this an anime card? Is this an archetype card? I don't know, but I'm giving it an F. Oh, here we go. Toon Blue Eyes Dragon. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Whatever. It's the same exact text as the other Toon cards. 2 tributes, End Toon World, and you're still paying to attack, and it can't attack on the first turn. It's like really not that good. Really not that good. Yeah, these Toon cards kind of suck. Kind of hoping to go out with a bang. You know, I feel like there was like these condensed block of like the most busted spells I've ever seen, like in a card game. And then we're ending on an understated vanilla and Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, but F for user. All right, well, you know what? I got a really good look at what this set has to offer. I mean, just scrolling through again, the power level of the spells like exploded. I thought Raigeki and Dark Hole were insane. They look fair compared to some of the things I just saw. So much hand disruption packed into one set. They didn't even get like, maybe if you could let Confiscation just on its own breathe, see how it settles in the format, it was probably still just going to be played in most decks because there's no restriction on it. There's no 1,000 life points is not a restriction. Delinquent Duo, you know, Forceful Sentry, really insane cards. And then you have things, you know, like I'm looking at Painful Choice again, you know, something that's not powerful now, but like you got to think of like the future, like the near future. And this is the same set with Crab Turtle and Hungry Burger. Anyway, that was the episode. See y'all next time. Peace.